Peace and blessings, everybody. Thank you again for tuning into my channel where I talk a lot about women entrepreneurship, how to level up, and so much more. So, this week's topic, I wanted to discuss what it takes to, in under 4 hours, network with about 80 people, which is what my business partner and I have done at a USC Alumni Event recently. So, a few tips about so how is it that we're able to network with as many people as we can, and what is the purpose, and how do we go about that in a successful way? So, one of the things, first, right off the bat, if you are walking in with a certain agenda of, fear or hesitation or uncertainty, people are going to feel that right away. And just think about cooperation and collaboration. Do you want to work with a partner who is not fully in? Probably not. So even if you don't have a business idea, even if you haven't taken the next step for your business or a venture, your career venture, where you're at is perfectly okay. Everybody wants you to be yourself, obviously, so that's the best thing that you can do. Just present yourself authentically. Be sure to dress in a comfortable way. Whatever your outfit is, you're not always changing it, fixing it, adjusting it, having to go to the bathroom all the time and fix it up. Make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes. Make sure you've tried on the shoes before you get there, and just be your most comfortable self as possible. So obviously it could be a little bit intimidating when you walk in to a venue and you see, about 100 people, then 200, then 300, then 400. You're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to reach everybody? Maybe you don't reach everybody. I know I didn't reach everybody at my university event. However, the first thing that I did was I sat down and I just relaxed for a second. And I was like, I'm just going to chill for a minute. I'm going to say hi to people. I'm going to smile, but I'm just going to make sure that my nerves are that I'm not too fidgety, that, I'm just in my body and I'm relaxing myself, and I'm like, when I'm ready, I'm gonna go out there. So what happens is at this event, they gave us 2 tickets to get a drink, and people were right away going to get a refreshment and food, and I'm like, I'm totally chilled, I don't need to have a refreshment. I've eaten before I got in here. So oftentimes what happens is when we're nervous, we'll go and we'll start eating something, or we'll go and we think we're so thirsty. It's okay to have water, of course. So they were offering all sorts of refreshments. So as soon as that happened, when I felt my body getting comfortable and I was comfortable, and of course when you're with somebody else, it helps so much more. Had I been by myself, probably I wouldn't have met 80 people, but I was with my business partner, and it's really good if you have alumni events at your in your colleges, or even if you go to Eventbrite and you're meeting people, networking with different entrepreneurs, or even with people in your career or not, it's good to have somebody there. But if you don't, that's totally okay too. You can also find somebody there who's on the same vibration as you, perhaps, or maybe somebody who's positive and you're like, I really like their attitude. You can go ahead and do that. So another thing that I wanted to mention was, my goal was not to convert people and be like, oh my God, I'm going to be the one talking and they have to listen to my ideas. I came in with more being curious as to hey, what is everybody else doing? And how are they feeling? And how's everything been going since COVID and all that jazz? So that was that entry opportunity. You want to think about, okay, what is that one thing I can talk about where anyone could put their comment in that? And so, I sat down with people. The first thing actually is after my friend and I got a refreshment, we got some water, we sat down, and we noticed someone, a loner, sitting by himself. And we were like, hi. And we were like, what do you do? When did you graduate? How has your year been? What have you been up to? And that's how we started the conversation. And then when we saw someone passing by or lingering right in front, They had in the venue, by the way, that where we were at, it was on a rooftop, and it was really beautiful view of Los Angeles. And they had these little canopies, and so there were seating areas. You know, if sitting makes you comfortable, you're obviously welcome to do that. And we did that for a little bit right in the beginning, and so it became like sitting with one person to inviting, you know, somebody who was lingering right in front of our canopy, and we're like, hey, come, like, hey, what's up, how are you, and just inviting. Like, you don't have to be the host. I'm that type of person. I'm very extroverted. I love inviting people. I love talking to people. I love connecting people. I'm like, I will go up to you and be like, hi, what's your name, would you like to join us? We're just talking about how things have been since COVID, you know, something really light. And then you hear what different people have to say. You know, we've met doctors, we've met surgeons, we've met lawyers, we've met engineers from different parts of the world. Wow, what is it like being from South Korea? That's so interesting. How do you like LA? Is where you live? And so we started off with that. That was about like the first 30 minutes. And so what I put in my mind was, I think I'm gonna find somebody who I can talk more about my ventures with, or what I've been doing. Let me go see if I can touch base with some women. Let's see if there's some entrepreneurs in the house. So, you know, I got up and I, you know, I tapped on my business partner. I was like, hey, like, see if you can find anybody who might have some ideas about our business. And by that I meant because we have a woman-owned business, so we really wanted to connect with women, and so we were like, okay, let's go ahead and venture out. So she went ahead and started linking up with 4 to 8 people, and I went ahead and started linking up with about a crowd of 4 to 8 people. And I'm like, hi, my name is Delilah. You know, I just graduated in 2017. I'm really excited. I don't live in LA anymore, but I'd really like to know what you guys are up to and how's it going. And so as soon as, you know, and another thing that helped a lot was we had the LinkedIn app, and the LinkedIn app had a QR code. So one of the organizers of the event, he told us about this. He's like, yeah, QR code. So if you meet someone, you're like, hey, can I add you on LinkedIn? And they scan your code and you right away connect with them. That was a really phenomenal experience, because what happens is, it's not like you have to connect with everyone, but with the people you're like, hey, I want to talk to you a little bit more. Maybe I might not get that chance right away. Is it okay if we like connect on LinkedIn? And they're like, yeah, totally. So I was able to get about 20 connections that I really wanted to get from that event. So that's another tool. And by the time it was like midway, maybe about 70% into the night or into the evening, we actually connected with some women who were really interesting. They were all working, they had their different businesses, but I really got to sit down and talk to one young lady who works in the entertainment industry, and she was just talking to me about what it's like working for television shows. And I told her a little bit about what I was doing and my fitness journey, and she followed me on Instagram, and so we tapped in like that. And so I did. And so once you automatically connect with someone, I'm like, okay, cool, now that I got you right on LinkedIn, or you followed me on Instagram or anything, I'd love to connect back with you. What I'm going to go ahead, if I hope you don't mind, is if I go ahead and talk to more people. And that's what I just kept doing. I kept like rolling the ball, because I wanted to take an opportunity. I wanted to know as many people as there are. And finally, like towards the end of the night, we actually connected with the main event coordinators, and that was really phenomenal, because they happened to be from Rosier School of Education, where I graduated from. So, and one of them happened to be the coordinator of the women's annual event, and I was like, oh my God, this is like exactly who I wanted to meet and talk to. So, not to make this video too long, but that's pretty much my journey, and how I was able to, in under 4 hours, meet with 80 people. I connected not all with 80 people, because I didn't want to. I wanted to really hone in and focus on, okay, who is it that I could actually meet and have deeper conversations with, because I might not necessarily my brain might not find a connection with like every single person on a deeper level, and that's totally okay. You want to be friendly, you want to be light, you don't want to go with the agenda of like me. Even if you're thinking about collaborating with someone, you're like, wow, how can I work with that person to service more people? And I think people feel that vibration, right? When you're like selfless and you're thinking more about like the bigger picture and also just having fun. I think that's the main importance there. So if you haven't watched my last video, I talk about how you can up your confidence. So go ahead and watch that video if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hope to see you guys next week.